Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UNS Discovery and looked out at the stars. It was the year 2157, and humans had finally learned to travel faster than light. The Discovery was their first ship to go beyond the solar system. Jake felt excited and nervous at the same time. "Captain, we're getting a signal," said Elena Rodriguez from her station. She was the ship's communications officer, and her job was to listen for messages from space. Jake walked over to her. "What kind of signal?" "It's not like anything we've heard before," Elena said. "But it seems friendly. They're trying to talk to us." Dr. Lisa Carter, the chief science officer, looked up from her computer. "The signal is coming from a large space station about 2 hours away. My scans show it has multiple species living on it." Jake's heart raced. Multiple species meant aliens. Real aliens. This was the moment humanity had been waiting for. "Open a channel," Jake ordered. Elena pressed some buttons, and suddenly a strange voice filled the bridge. It sounded like music mixed with wind chimes. "Greetings, unknown travelers. I am Ambassador Kethvar of the Zephyrian Collective. We welcome you to our part of space. May we know who you are?" Jake cleared his throat. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Nations ship Discovery. We are humans from the planet Earth. This is our first journey beyond our home system." There was a pause, then excited chiming sounds. "Humans! A new species! How wonderful! We would be honored if you would visit our station. We can share food and learn about each other." Jake looked at his crew. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Davis, the tactical officer, nodded. Dr. Carter smiled and gave a thumbs up. Elena grinned widely. "We would be happy to visit," Jake replied. 2 hours later, the Discovery docked at the alien station. Jake, Dr. Carter, Elena, and Ryan put on their best uniforms. They wanted to make a good first impression. "Should we bring gifts?" Elena asked. "Good idea," Jake said. "What do we have?" Dr. Carter thought for a moment. "We have some chocolate bars in the food storage. And coffee. Everyone likes coffee, right? Oh, and Captain Rodriguez brought some wine for special occasions." "Perfect," Jake said. "Chocolate, coffee, and wine. Those are good examples of human culture." The airlock opened, and they stepped onto the alien station. The gravity felt normal, and the air smelled like flowers. Waiting for them was Ambassador Kethvar and 3 other aliens. The Zephyrians looked like tall, thin people with blue skin and large, gentle eyes. They had 4 arms and moved very gracefully. Jake thought they looked peaceful and friendly. "Welcome, humans," Ambassador Kethvar said in perfect English. "We are so excited to meet you. We have prepared a meal to celebrate this historic meeting." They walked through the station, and Jake was amazed by what he saw. The walls were covered with beautiful plants, and soft music played everywhere. Other aliens stopped to stare at the humans, but they all looked curious, not afraid. The dining hall was huge, with a long table covered in colorful foods. Jake counted at least 6 different types of aliens sitting around the table. They all stood up and made welcoming sounds when the humans entered. "Please sit," Ambassador Kethvar said. "We have prepared foods that our scans show are safe for your biology." The humans sat down, and Jake pulled out their gifts. "Before we eat, we brought some things from Earth to share with you. These represent our culture." He placed the chocolate bars, coffee packets, and wine bottle on the table. The aliens gathered around, examining the items with great interest. "These are chocolate bars," Dr. Carter explained. "They're sweet and made from a plant called cacao. Humans eat them for pleasure." "This is coffee," Elena added, holding up a packet. "We make it into a hot drink. It helps us stay awake and think clearly." "And this is wine," Jake said, showing the bottle. "It's made from fruit. We drink it during celebrations." Ambassador Kethvar's assistant, a smaller alien with green skin, carefully took a tiny piece of chocolate and ate it. Within seconds, its large eyes became even larger, and it started making happy singing sounds. "Oh my," Ambassador Kethvar said. "Zix seems to really enjoy your chocolate." But Zix didn't stop singing. The sound got louder and more excited. Other aliens at the table started looking worried. Dr. Carter mixed some coffee with hot water and offered it to another alien. This one took a small sip and immediately started moving very fast, talking rapidly in its own language. It seemed unable to sit still. "Is your friend okay?" Jake asked, starting to feel concerned. Before anyone could answer, Ambassador Kethvar decided to try the wine. He took a small sip, smiled, and then suddenly fell over. His breathing became slow and strange. "Ambassador!" his aide shouted. "Someone call the medical team." Chaos erupted in the dining hall. Aliens were running everywhere. Zix was still singing loudly and couldn't seem to stop. The alien who drank coffee was running in circles, speaking so fast that even the translator couldn't keep up. Ambassador Kethvar was unconscious on the floor. "What's happening?" Ryan demanded, standing up with his hand near his weapon. "Don't move!" several aliens shouted at once. "You've poisoned our ambassador." "Poisoned?" Jake was shocked. "These are just normal human foods." "Normal?" one of the aliens cried. "Your substances have completely altered their brain chemistry. This is biological warfare." Dr. Carter knelt next to Ambassador Kethvar, trying to help, but the other aliens pulled her away. "Stay back, poisoner!" they yelled. Jake raised his hands. "This is all a misunderstanding. We didn't know these foods would affect you this way." But the aliens weren't listening. They were too busy trying to save their ambassador and the others who had tried the human gifts. "Get them off our station!" someone shouted. "Before they kill us all!" Security guards with strange weapons surrounded the humans. Jake realized they had no choice but to leave. "We're truly sorry," Jake said as they were escorted back to their ship. "We never meant to hurt anyone." But Ambassador Kethvar was still unconscious, Zix was still singing uncontrollably, and the coffee-drinking alien was still running around like crazy. As the Discovery undocked from the station, Jake watched through the window as emergency ships arrived. He felt terrible about what had happened. "Captain," Elena said quietly, "I'm picking up transmissions from the station. They're sending messages to other star systems." "What are they saying?" Elena looked pale. "They're warning everyone about humans. They're calling us a dangerous species that uses biological weapons disguised as gifts." Jake slumped in his chair. Humanity's first contact with aliens had gone completely wrong. Instead of making friends, they had accidentally poisoned them with chocolate, coffee, and wine. "Set course for Earth," Jake ordered sadly. "We need to report what happened." As the Discovery jumped to faster-than-light speed, Jake wondered if humanity would ever get another chance to meet aliens. And if they did, would anyone trust them after this disaster? 3 months after the disaster at the Zephyrian station, Commander Alex Turner led the second human expedition into space. His ship, the UNS Horizon, was bigger and better equipped than the Discovery. Alex hoped to fix the mistakes of the first mission. "This time will be different," Alex told his crew as they approached their first alien station. "We won't bring any food or drinks. We'll just talk and try to explain what happened." Dr. Patricia Hughes, the ship's expert on alien life, looked worried as she studied her computer screen. "Commander, I'm seeing something strange in the galactic database. We've been classified as a Class 9 biohazard species." "What does that mean?" asked Security Chief Brandon Lewis. "It means they think we're extremely dangerous," Dr. Hughes explained. "Only the most deadly species in the galaxy get that classification." Alex frowned. "But we're not dangerous. We just made a mistake with the food." "Try telling them that," said Lieutenant Amy Foster, the communications officer. "I'm picking up chatter from multiple stations. They're all talking about the poison gift humans and warning ships to stay away from us." The Horizon approached a trading station called Port Harmony. Alex sent a message asking permission to dock. "This is Port Harmony Control," came the reply. "State your business." "This is Commander Alex Turner of the human ship Horizon. We request permission to dock for peaceful talks." There was a long silence. Then, "Did you say humans? The biological warfare species?" No, Alex said quickly. "We're peaceful explorers. The previous incident was a misunderstanding." "Negative, human ship. You are not permitted to dock. Please leave this system immediately. Alex tried to explain, but the station cut off all communication. The same thing happened at the next 3 stations they visited. Nobody would talk to them or let them dock. "Commander," Dr. Hughes called out, "you need to see this. I've been monitoring alien communication networks. They've been studying our entertainment broadcasts." On the main screen appeared what looked like a galactic news report. Alex could see clips from human movies and TV shows, but the alien commentary made them sound terrifying. As you can see, the alien reporter was saying, "These humans casually engage in extreme violence. This creature, called John Blake, destroys entire buildings with small explosives. This female human, Kate Williams, fights multiple enemies at once without showing fear or pain." Alex watched in horror as clips from action movies played on screen. To humans, these were just entertaining stories. But to peaceful aliens who had never seen such violence, they looked like training videos for warfare. "They call this entertainment," the reporter continued. "This suggests that violence and destruction bring them pleasure. Combined with their use of biological weapons disguised as gifts, humans represent an unprecedented threat to galactic peace." "Turn it off," Alex said, rubbing his temples. This was getting worse by the day. A week later, the Horizon finally found a group willing to talk to them. The meditation masters of Serenity Prime were known throughout the galaxy for their wisdom and peaceful nature. If anyone would listen to reason, it would be them. Master Gentlethought appeared on their communication screen. He looked like a tall, thin alien covered in soft fur, with large, kind eyes. "Greetings, humans," Master Gentlethought said in a calm voice. "We have heard disturbing reports about your species, but we believe in giving everyone a chance to explain themselves." Alex felt relief flood through him. Finally, someone reasonable. "Thank you, Master Gentlethought. We are grateful for your wisdom. The reports about us are based on misunderstandings. We are a peaceful species." "We would like to believe that," the Master replied. "Perhaps you could demonstrate your peaceful nature?" "Of course," Alex said. "What would you like us to do?" "Our customs require a greeting ritual. You must hold our sacred sphere of contemplation and show that you mean no harm." A small shuttle arrived from the alien ship carrying what looked like a clear crystal ball about the size of a baseball. Master Gentlethought explained that it was made from compressed crystal and was very important to their religion. Brandon Lewis carefully took the sphere. To show respect, he held it gently in both hands and squeezed slightly to demonstrate he wouldn't drop it. The crystal sphere cracked with a loud snap, then crumbled into pieces in his hands. Brandon stared at the broken crystal in shock. I barely touched it." On the communication screen, Master Gentlethought's eyes went wide with terror. You crushed the sacred sphere. That sphere required our most powerful machines to shape. The pressure needed to break it could crush a spacecraft." "No, wait," Brandon protested. "I was just being careful not to drop it." But Master Gentlethought was already backing away from his screen. "You destroyed our most sacred artifact with casual hand pressure. This is clearly a threat display." "It's not a threat," Alex shouted, but it was too late. The communication cut off. Within hours, emergency broadcasts were spreading across the galaxy. Humans possess effortless world-crushing power. They can destroy sacred artifacts with gentle hand movements. This was clearly a demonstration to intimidate peaceful species. Amy Foster tried to send messages explaining that humans were actually quite fragile, but every explanation made things worse. "We're not that strong," she transmitted to anyone who would listen. "In fact, we're so fragile that we invented something called safety equipment. We wear helmets when we ride bicycles, and we use seatbelts in vehicles." But the aliens interpreted this differently. To species who considered any physical activity dangerous, the idea that humans did things so risky they needed special protective equipment was terrifying. "They engage in activities so dangerous they require armor," the report said. "Yet they call these recreational activities and do them for fun." Amy made things even worse when she tried to explain human sports. "We have games where people jump out of flying aircraft with parachutes," she said. "And some humans swim with large predator fish for entertainment." To aliens who thought falling from a high place or meeting a predator meant certain death, This sounded like boasting about superhuman abilities. Dr. Hughes discovered that their biology reports were being misunderstood too. They classify us as omnivores, she told Alex. But the aliens think that means we can consume any life form. They don't understand that we mostly eat plants and some animal meat. What about our teeth? Alex asked. That's making it worse, Dr. Hughes sighed. Our canine teeth are designed for tearing meat. To herbivore species, that makes us look like apex predators. The situation reached a new low when Amy tried to share human music to show their cultural side. She broadcasted samples of different musical styles, thinking it would help aliens understand that humans were creative and artistic. The response was immediate panic. Rock music was interpreted as war chants. Rap music sounded like battle planning sessions. Even classical music was seen as ominous and psychologically manipulative. Their audio weapons are designed to alter emotional states, read one report. They use complex sound patterns to confuse and control other species. Alex sat in his captain's chair, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. 12 star systems had now issued warnings about humans. 3 species had declared them a galactic threat. 2 civilizations had started building defensive fleets. "Commander," Amy said quietly, "I think we need to go home." Alex nodded sadly. "Set course for Earth. We've somehow made everything worse." As the Horizon prepared to jump to light speed, Dr. Hughes showed Alex the latest intelligence report. According to this, the galaxy now believes we're an unstoppable warrior race that poisons enemies casually, crushes sacred objects for intimidation, devours any organic matter, creates psychological warfare through sound, and views extreme danger as entertainment. Alex shook his head. "All we did was share chocolate and break a crystal ball by accident." "And play some music," Amy added. "And mention that we like swimming and skydiving," Dr. Hughes said. "How did this happen?" Brandon asked. Alex looked out at the stars as they jumped to faster-than-light travel. "I think," he said slowly, "we just learned that being human looks very different from the outside." 6 months had passed since the first human contact with aliens, and Dr. Nathan Price was desperate to fix the growing misunderstandings. As the lead scientist on the UNS Endeavour, he had volunteered to lead a special mission focused entirely on education and peaceful communication. "This time, we're going to explain everything properly," Nathan told his team as they approached the Gentle One's home world of Moss World. "We'll use science and facts to show them that humans are not dangerous." Communications Officer Sarah Martinez looked doubtful as she read the latest reports. "Doctor, the situation has gotten much worse. We're now listed as a potential galaxy-ending threat in 17 different databases." "That's impossible," Nathan said. "We're just normal people." "Tell that to them," said Marine Sergeant Chris Johnson, pointing at the screen showing alien news reports. "Look at this headline: Human warship approaches peaceful world, evacuation recommended." Nathan sighed. The Endeavour wasn't a warship at all. It was a science vessel with no weapons, designed specifically for peaceful research. But somehow, even their attempts at peace were being misunderstood. Medical Officer Dr. Laura Phillips brought up the latest communication from the Gentle Ones. "They've agreed to talk to us, but only through long-distance video calls. They're too afraid to meet us in person." "At least someone will talk to us," Nathan said. "Open the channel." The main screen flickered, and several alien figures appeared. The Gentle Ones looked like large, soft mushrooms with gentle eyes and small mouths. They moved very slowly and spoke in whispers. "Greetings, terrifying humans," said their leader, Soft Speaker. "We have agreed to this communication to better understand your species before you destroy us all." Nathan held up his hands peacefully. "We don't want to destroy anyone. We're scientists. Our mission is to learn and share knowledge." "You claim to be peaceful," Soft Speaker whispered, "but our research shows otherwise. You are classified as omnivores. This means you consume all forms of life." "Well, yes," Nathan admitted, "but that doesn't mean we eat everything we see. Omnivore just means we eat both plants and meat. Most of our food is actually plants like fruits, vegetables, and grains." The gentle ones made horrified gasping sounds. You consume the reproductive organs of plants, one of them squeaked. The fruits and seeds that create new life? Nathan realized his mistake too late. To the gentle ones, who got energy from sunlight like earth plants, eating fruits and seeds sounded like consuming babies. And you tear flesh from creatures and consume it? Soft Speaker asked in horror. Only from animals that are already dead, Nathan said quickly. We don't hunt intelligent species. We mostly eat simple animals like cows and chickens. But this made things worse. The gentle ones had never heard of deliberately raising animals just to kill them for food. To them, it sounded like humans ran massive death camps for other life forms. You breed creatures specifically to slaughter them? Soft Speaker whispered. How many billions do you kill each year? Nathan tried to change the subject. Let me show you something more positive about human culture. Sarah, play some music. Sarah started with what she thought was safe, a gentle classical piece by Mozart. The beautiful piano melody filled the communication channel. The gentle ones listened in growing horror. This audio pattern is designed to manipulate emotions, one of them said. We can feel our thoughts being altered by these complex sound waves. It's just music, Nathan protested. We create it for beauty and pleasure. You use sonic manipulation for pleasure? Soft Speaker asked. And you share it freely, showing how easily you can control minds? Sarah tried to help by playing something more upbeat, a pop song with a catchy rhythm. The aliens recoiled as if they'd been struck. The rhythmic patterns are hypnotic, another gentle one whispered. They're designed to control body movements. This is advanced neural warfare technology. Nathan was getting frustrated. It's not warfare. Humans just like music. We sing and dance because it makes us happy. You force your bodies to move in unnatural patterns, for happiness? Soft Speaker asked in bewilderment. Before Nathan could answer, Chris Johnson decided to demonstrate that humans were actually quite fragile. He stood up and did a simple exercise routine, some jumping jacks, push-ups, and stretches. The gentle ones watched in absolute terror as Chris lifted his entire body weight with just his arms, repeatedly. It's casually demonstrating impossible physical capabilities, one alien whispered to another. The creature is lifting its own mass using only its limbs, Soft Speaker said in awe. This defies our understanding of biology. Those aren't impossible capabilities, Nathan said desperately. Any healthy human can do push-ups. It's basic exercise. Exercise. Soft Speaker repeated the word like it was a curse. You deliberately stress your bodies. For what purpose? To stay healthy and strong, Chris said, not realizing he was making things worse. You intentionally cause yourself pain to become more powerful, another gentle one asked. This is the behavior of a warrior species that views suffering as strength enhancement. Dr. Phillips tried to help by explaining human medicine. Actually, humans are quite fragile. We get sick easily and need lots of medical care. Tell us about this medical care, Soft Speaker requested. Well, Dr. Phillips began, when humans are seriously injured or ill, we perform surgery. We cut into the body to fix problems inside. The gentle ones made sounds of absolute horror. To species where even a small cut could be fatal, the idea of deliberately cutting into bodies sounded like torture. You slice open living beings? Soft Speaker whispered. Only to help them heal, Dr. Phillips explained. We can replace damaged organs, fix broken bones, and remove diseased tissue. You replace organs? One alien asked faintly. Sure. Hearts, kidneys, livers. We can even transplant them from one human to another. The aliens were quiet for a long moment. Finally, Soft Speaker spoke. You casually harvest and exchange internal organs between individuals. And the recipients survive this process. Most of the time, yes. And they resume normal activities? After recovery, yes. Some people run marathons with transplanted hearts. The communication channel filled with panicked alien chatter. Nathan heard phrases like immortal warriors, organ-swapping death cult, and unstoppable regeneration abilities. Nathan made one last attempt to show human vulnerability. Look, we're really not that tough. Humans can be killed by simple things like infections, falls, or even eating bad food. You admit that you consume substances that could kill you? Soft Speaker asked. Well, sometimes food goes bad and makes us sick. You regularly test potentially lethal substances by consuming them? It's not intentional, Nathan protested. But Soft Speaker was already turning to the others. They consume unknown substances as toxicity tests, perform surgical modifications for enhancement, manipulate matter with their bare hands, control minds through audio frequencies, and view physical suffering as strength training. Sarah tried one more time. We really are peaceful. Most humans spend their days doing quiet things like reading books, watching movies, or playing games. Games? Soft Speaker asked. Yes, fun activities like chess, or sports, or video games. Describe these sports. Sarah thought about it. Well, there's football, where teams try to carry a ball into the opponent's territory. Or boxing, where two people fight with rules. Or racing, where people compete to move fastest. The aliens listened to descriptions of humans deliberately running into each other, hitting each other with rules, and competing to see who could move their bodies at the most dangerous speeds. Your entertainment consists of ritualized combat and speed trials, Soft Speaker concluded. These are clearly military training exercises disguised as recreation. The communication ended abruptly. Within hours, new warnings were broadcasting across the galaxy. Humans confirmed as galaxy's most dangerous species. They perform surgery for fun, eat poison as tests, exercise by inflicting pain on themselves, use mind control through sound, and train for war through entertainment. Avoid all contact. Nathan sat in his captain's chair, staring at the communication logs. Everything they had said was true, but somehow it all sounded terrifying when explained to aliens who had evolved completely differently. Doctor, Sarah said quietly, we've received messages from 6 different star systems. They're all the same. What do they say? Sarah read from her screen, please don't hurt us, scary humans. We surrender. Nathan put his head in his hands. All we did was try to explain basic human biology. Maybe that was the problem, Chris suggested. Maybe basic human biology really is scary. Dr. Phillips nodded thoughtfully. Think about it from their perspective. We're creatures who tear apart other life forms with our teeth, deliberately cut ourselves open and rearrange our insides, inflict pain on ourselves to get stronger, and consider potentially deadly activities as entertainment. When you put it that way, Nathan said slowly, I guess we do sound pretty terrifying. The UNS Endeavour turned toward home, leaving behind a galaxy that was now more afraid of humans than ever. And the worst part was, everything the aliens believed about human superpowers was completely true. It just sounded a lot scarier when viewed from the outside. 1 year after first contact, Captain Danny Walsh commanded the UNS Vigilance on what Earth hoped would be humanity's final attempt at peaceful relations with the galaxy. The situation had grown far beyond simple misunderstandings. Captain, called out Navigator Kelly Barnes, we're approaching the Nexus system, but my sensors show something strange. The system appears to be empty. Danny looked at the readings. The Nexus system was supposed to be one of the busiest trade hubs in the galaxy, with millions of aliens living and working there. But Kelly was right. There was almost no one there. Where did everyone go? Asked engineer Mike Rodriguez. Communications Officer Rachel Stone found the answer in the system's automated messages. They evacuated, sir. 3 days ago. As soon as they detected our ship approaching. Danny stared at the empty space stations and abandoned trade routes. An entire star system evacuated because they knew we were coming? It gets worse, Rachel continued, reading more messages. They left behind what they call appeasement offerings. Cargo containers full of rare metals and valuable goods. They're trying to bribe us not to hurt them, Kelly realized. Danny felt sick to his stomach. We just wanted to talk to them. The Vigilance docked at the abandoned central station. The airlocks opened automatically, and they found the station completely deserted except for a single very frightened alien who appeared to be some kind of maintenance worker. The alien, who looked like a tall, thin bird covered in blue feathers, immediately fell down when he saw the humans. Please don't consume me, mighty humans, he chirped in terror. I am just a simple power systems technician. I have no value as prey. We're not going to consume you, Danny said gently, trying to calm the alien down. We're here to talk. What's your name? I am Clickwur, humble servant of the great human empire, the alien replied, still cowering. We don't have an empire, Danny protested. Clickwur looked confused. But you control 17 star systems through fear and intimidation. We don't control anything, Kelly said. We've never even been to 17 star systems. But the reports say that wherever human ships appear, entire civilizations surrender immediately, Clickwur said. The Zephyrians gave you 3 systems after you demonstrated your biological warfare. The Gentle Ones offered you their entire planet after you showed your strength enhancement rituals. Danny and his crew exchanged worried looks. They were only beginning to understand how bad the situation had become. Clickwur, Danny said carefully, we need to fix a problem. Can you help us contact other aliens and explain that we're not trying to take over the galaxy? Clickwur's feathers ruffled nervously. I could try to reach the Emergency Council. They are hiding in the distant void, planning how to deal with the human expansion. There's no human expansion. Rachel protested. Please don't hurt me for disagreeing with you, Clickwur whimpered. A few hours later, they managed to establish contact with what remained of the galactic government. The Emergency Council consisted of representatives from 12 different species, all hiding in a secret location far from any human activity. Council leader Supreme Mind appeared on their screen. He looked like a large, floating brain with tentacles, and his voice trembled when he spoke. Terrifying humans, we are prepared to negotiate the terms of our surrender. Please state your demands for galactic dominion. We don't want galactic dominion, Danny said for what felt like the 100th time. We just want to be friends. Friends. Supreme Mind repeated the word like he had never heard it before. You mean allies in conquest? No, just friends. People who like each other and help each other. The council members whispered among themselves in their various alien languages. Finally, Supreme Mind spoke again. We do not understand this concept. Species with your capabilities do not need friends. They take what they want through force. Engineer Mike Rodriguez had been working on the station's power systems while they talked. He had fixed several broken components using basic human tools and some duct tape. Clickwur had watched the entire process in amazement. Mighty human, Clickwur interrupted the conversation. How did you reshape those metal components with such primitive tools? Reshape? Mike looked confused. I just fixed some loose connections and patched a power conduit with tape. You took broken technology and made it work better than before, Clickwur explained to the council. Using only simple implements and flexible bonding strips. Supreme Mind's tentacles writhed in distress. They can repair any technology with primitive tools through sheer force of will. This confirms our worst fears about their capabilities. It's not force of will, Mike protested. It's just basic engineering. You look at what's broken, figure out why it's broken, and fix it. But his explanation only made things worse. To aliens who specialized in very specific technologies and couldn't adapt when things went wrong, Mike's ability to fix unfamiliar equipment seemed like magic. Ambassador Kelly Barnes tried to restore calm to the situation. Look, let's start over. Let me explain what humans really want. Please don't hurt us while you explain, Supreme Mind requested. Kelly took a deep breath. Humans want to explore the galaxy, learn about other species, share knowledge, and maybe trade some goods. That's all. And in exchange? Supreme Mind asked suspiciously. Nothing in exchange. We just want to be part of the galactic community. The council members had a long discussion in their own languages. Kelly could hear phrases being translated like, too good to be true, obviously a trap, and probably a testing phase before the real invasion. Finally, Supreme Mind spoke again. We find your terms surprisingly generous for a species of your power. Very well. We accept your offer to become protected vassals of the human empire. There is no human empire, Danny shouted, finally losing his patience. Of course not, Supreme Mind agreed quickly. We understand you prefer to keep your governmental structure secret. We will refer to it as the Human Friendship Federation. Rachel looked at her communication logs and shook her head. Captain, I'm receiving surrender messages from 14 different species. They're all offering to become our protected vassals. And trade offers, Kelly added, reading her own reports. Someone called the Merchant Guild is offering us exclusive trading rights to 73 star systems in exchange for protection from other scary humans. Danny felt a headache coming on. There are no other scary humans. We're the only humans out here. Click were looked up from where he was still cowering. Great human leader, if I may ask, what should we do about the resistance? What resistance? The species that refuse to surrender to your empire. They are gathering a military force to fight you. Should we prepare for the Great War? Danny's headache got worse. We don't want a war. We don't want to fight anyone. So you will simply destroy them with your terrible powers? Click were asked. No. Danny shouted. We don't want to destroy anyone either. Supreme Mind's tentacles drooped with relief. Ah, we understand. You prefer to conquer through fear rather than actual violence. Much more efficient. Dr. Jennifer Adams, the ship's psychologist, had been quietly listening to the entire conversation. Finally, she spoke up. Captain, I think I understand what's happening. Every normal human trait appears supernatural to species that evolved in completely different environments. We solve problems creatively, adapt to new situations, recover from injuries, and we're physically capable in ways they can't imagine. So, Danny asked, so to them, we're not just another